American Top 40.
Another Top 40 debut song now, and as you might guess, it's doing pretty well in the country charts too. The song is Snowbird, the singer Anne Murray. That's Anne Murray, and the song is Snowbird. This is Casey Kasem counting down the hits, and number 37 is next.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
This next song is by a girl from Canada who was the only daughter in a family of 6 children. And maybe it was the ordeal of growing up with 5 brothers that inspired her to get a bachelor's degree in physical education. Then she taught school for a year in the Canadian province of Prince Edward Island, until the CBC heard her sing. And then along came the Snowbird, and became the 42nd most popular song in America for 1970. Here's Anne Murray. Anne Murray, Snowbird. 42nd most popular song of the year on American Top 40.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Now in American Top 40, the current hit by the former phys ed teacher, the pretty Canadian girl whose interest in athletics came about very naturally. In a family of 6 healthy children, she was the only girl, and growing up with 5 active boys, she had a choice between sitting on the sidelines or running, fighting, and competing right along with her brothers. It got her interested in athletics, and she earned a bachelor's degree in physical education. Her singing then was just a hobby. Then she taught school for a year in the Canadian province of Prince Edward Island, until the CBC heard her sing, which started her professional career in music, which led to her top 10 hit of 1970, Snowbird. She had other chart songs since then, but this is only her second time in the top 40. At number 26, here's Anne Murray and Danny's Song. That moves up 9 big notches to 26 in her third week on American Top 40. The Canadian Anne Murray with Danny's Song. We're coming to you from Hollywood, and the national countdown rolls on.
The hits from coast to coast.
Now in American Top 40, I have the current hit that answers the question, can a young girl from a small mining town in the East find happiness in the recording industry? Well, the answer for Anne Murray is yes. You see, Anne comes to us from the mining town of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia in eastern Canada. And back in 1970, her first big hit, Snowbird, made history of sorts in Canada. It made her the first Canadian girl singer to receive the Gold Leaf Award, which signifies at least $75,000 in sales in Canada, and for the same record, to receive a gold record here in the States, which, as you know, means at least 1 million sales. Here she is, perhaps headed for gold again with her hit that got to number 5 on the country chart, and now at number 31 in its 15th week on the pop chart. Anne Murray's A Love Song.
There's a wren in a willow wood.
The former school teacher Anne Murray at number 31 this week with A Love Song.
American Top 40.
This next song is by an exception to the rule. The rule being that to make it in show business, you've got to be aggressive, persistent, hungry for success, and willing to sacrifice almost anything to reach your goal. But this singing star from Canada couldn't have cared less. The only reason she began singing in the first place was because she needed money to buy a car after she finished college. She had earned her teaching credentials in physical education, and she was waiting for the fall semester to start work. So she auditioned for a musical TV show and was hired as one of the singers. But when school started, she quit singing to teach. And during that whole school year, the show's producer kept trying to persuade her to quit teaching and become a full-time professional singer. But she wanted no part of such an insecure profession. Then her friends started working on her too, and that gave her enough confidence to take the chance. The first year, nothing much happened. But the following year, she had her first hit record, a top 10 smash called Snowbird. It hit gold and got her a regular spot on the Glenn Campbell TV show. And she's been a star act ever since, on both the pop and country charts. This is her 15th time on the pop survey. It's a recent country hit called You Needed Me, moving up 7 notches to number 28. Here is the reluctant singing star, Anne Murray. Anne Murray from Nova Scotia on American Top 40 at number 28, second week on the chart, moving up 7 notches with You Needed Me.
American Top 40.
This is Casey Kasem on American Top 40 in Hollywood, and now we're up to the song by the former teacher, the most successful former gym teacher ever to hit the charts. She was born and raised in Canada, in Nova Scotia, and she had to choose a lifestyle pretty early. As the only sister to 5 brothers, she could either sit around on the sidelines or she could run, fight, and compete with the boys. She chose running, fighting, and competing, which very naturally led her to an interest in athletics and a bachelor's degree in physical education. She also had a hobby, singing and songwriting. And while she was teaching school in the Canadian province of Prince Edward Island, she often sang in school shows. Well, one of those times, somebody from the Canadian Broadcasting Company heard her and gave her an audition on a CBC variety show. That audition eventually led to her switching professions from teaching to singing. In 1970, she had her first hit, a top 10 smash called Snowbird. And she followed that up during the decade with hits like Danny's Song, Love Song, You Won't See Me, and a few months ago, her first #1, You Needed Me, making Anne Murray the most successful former phys ed teacher ever to hit the charts. Her latest hit, I Just Fall in Love Again, moves up 2 positions this week to number 16. Here's Anne Murray. This week's #1 country song and moving up 2 to become number 16 on American Top 40. Anne Murray and I Just Fall in Love Again.
The hits from coast to coast.
This is Casey on American Top 40 in Hollywood, and now we're up to the latest hit by a woman who started out her career with a reputation as a real pain in the neck, but she became a star just the same. And her image today is that of one of the sweetest performers in the music business. The superstar I'm talking about is Anne Murray. According to the man who discovered Anne Murray, TV producer Bill Langstroth, Anne wasn't so sweet when he first met her back in 1964. You see, Bill had auditioned Anne for a part, but he wound up not hiring her. Well, a little while later, Bill came up with a singing job for Anne Murray. But according to Bill, when he called her, quote, she gave me a lot of lip. I told her she should try it again. She said, no way, I'm not coming to your stupid auditions. But I kept talking to her, and we finally hired her, which, according to Bill Langstroth, just opened up another can of Anne Murray worms. He says that after we signed the contracts, she told me, oh, by the way, I'm not going to be able to do the first 6 shows because I got to have a knee operation. We were only doing 13 shows, said Bill. I felt like I'd been taken royally, but I waited for her anyway. That's what TV producer Bill Langstroth had to say about his discovery, Anne Murray. This week, former pain and now sweet Anne Murray moves up 2 notches to number 16 with Broken Hearted Me.
Every now and then.
Anne Murray at number 16 with the ballad Broken Hearted Me. This is Casey, and we have 15 hits on our way to number 1.
Casey's Coast to Coast.